If you run a business, you'll probably have asked yourself these kinds of questions over and over again. When will my cash reserves run out? What if that client pays us late? How much cash do we need to make to break even? Or when can I take cash out of the business? Worrying about these what ifs can be really stressful, but having an up-to-date cash flow forecast can help answer these questions and many more. So what is Float? Float is a cash flow forecasting add-on for Xero, QuickBooks Online and free agent users. It provides you with much more forward-looking functionality than your accounting software. Use Float to save time and get a clear understanding of your future cash up to 3 years ahead and scenario plan for your what-if questions. So how does Float work? It will help you understand your future bank balance. This graph shows you all the cash moving in and out of your business and how it affects your bank balance. The blue line is made up of the predictions or budgets that you enter into Float, as well as the expected payment dates on upcoming invoices and bills. These act as placeholders for future cash. Not every transaction will be related to a bill or an invoice. That's where budgeting comes in. Your cash flow table will mirror your chart of accounts, which is the list of accounting categories in your accounting software. You need to create a budget for each of these accounts for how much cash you expect to move into and out of your business in the future months. Budgeting will help Float to project your future bank balance and show you whether you're behind or ahead of budget. You can either enter multiple budgets per month or just one each month. Float is flexible, so it's up to you. We also suggest budgets for you based on what's been paid in the past 3 months, so you can use those or set your own. If you already have a forecast worked out in a spreadsheet, you can save time by copying and pasting your forecast into Float. Float doesn't automatically predict your future budgets for you because you know your business and your upcoming projects much better than an algorithm would. But the bit that we automate is updating your budgets every day with invoices, bills, and reconciled or matched transactions from your accounting software to show you your current and predicted cash balance, saving you a huge amount of time. And don't worry, Float only pulls information one way from your accounting software. It cannot and will not ever change your accounting data in Xero, QuickBooks Online, or Free Agent. Float helps you to keep track of upcoming and overdue invoices and bills. You can update payment dates to when you expect the cash to move, making your forecast much more accurate. For example, I've spoken to this client and they've told me they'll pay their overdue invoices by next Friday, so I'll update them to that date. And for this invoice, I have no idea when or if they'll pay, so I'm going to exclude that from my forecast for now. I could also split this invoice into part payments because my customer has agreed to pay in installments. The same thing goes for money that you owe. You can see and update all your outstanding bills here in the same way. In Float, you can create what-if scenarios to understand the cash impact of things like hiring new staff, buying a new piece of equipment, or getting paid late. We call this scenario planning. You can quickly model and then compare these scenarios to your existing forecast. Here's an example of what would happen if you lost a big client. And here's an example of hiring a new salesperson. You can build and compare scenarios for any situation. You can track your spending against your expectations. Float automatically syncs with your accounting software and imports your actuals or paid transactions to track against your budgets, so you can see whether you're spending more than you thought you would, or if you're receiving less cash than you planned for. This is much faster, more accurate, and more reliable than using a spreadsheet. Whichever month you're in, Float will show you progress towards your budgets. For instance, in my sales this month, so far, I haven't quite reached my cash budget because my actuals and my invoices are totaling a lower number than I'd expected. Here you can see I have unpaid invoices. I can click onto these and see more information, change the date when I think they'll be paid, and ignore them, as well as split them into part payments. If I go to last month, I can see how my budgets performed. For instance, in my advertising and marketing line, I was over budget. By clicking in, I can see I went over my budget by this amount. I can see a full report of this in my Insights tab as well. The Daily Breakdown tab gives you a more detailed view of your incomings and outgoings over the past months and what's expected for future months. You can set the date range, and if you prefer just to look at what's already invoiced, you can filter out your budgets from this view. Float is an award-winning tool for Xero, QuickBooks, and Free Agent to help you save time, understand the cash impact of your what-if questions, and make confident decisions for your business.